YouTube, what's good? Sad Boy A, and today we're trying something a little different on this channel. Today we're gonna discuss the fourth quarter chess match between Finch and Mitch Johnson, and what changed in the fourth quarter to help the Wolves pull out the game one upset on the road. Now, there are a lot of things that happened during this game over the course of the entire game. I just want to primarily focus on the fourth quarter. And then also, I'm not a doomer. We're going to be honest. I don't know if this holds throughout the series, but this was a big game for the Wolves to steal. So let's see what happens next game. The Spurs kind of need to win game two. But I'm going to deep dive the fourth quarter, talk about the things that Finch did differently, talk about potential adjustment for Ms. Johnson, and then we're also going to look at the shot chart, see the difference of the shots they got in the first, second, and third quarter compared to the fourth. Now, if you guys are new, I would appreciate it if you guys leave a like, turn on post notice if you guys like this type of content. I have some ball knowledge I can share with you guys. No point in me holding it. But first, before we get into it, we're going to look at the shot chart. You see a lot of paint distribution to this first quarter shot chart for the Timberwolves. Not really many 3 points attempted, and the ones that were attempted were missed. No corner threes as well. Second quarter, we got some corner threes, but we're still missing a lot in the paint. The top of the key, he's got like 3 shots. I ain't taking that many threes still. Third quarter, took a lot more threes above the break. Missed a lot of them. Still huge paint distribution. Corner three. Now fourth quarter, look how more evenly spread out these attempts are. Everything is spread out. Even the misses are more spread out. So it's my job to use this little shot chart. And now we're gonna deep dive and look at some plays specifically on what happened, what changed in that fourth quarter. Plays are not in order, but I do want to cover them one by one. So this first possession, we got Terrence Shannon coming up the court. Wemby is late to getting back on D, so he's guarding Terrence Shannon this possession. And you're gonna see that Terrence Shannon, first of all, before I get into this clip, was getting downhill almost every time he touched the basketball. His first step was crazy last night. And he will be a pivotal part of the series because he pushes the pace and forces switch. Now that Wemby's on Mr. Shannon here, he's gonna get a rub screen. See if I can turn on my little draw. He's gonna get a rub screen from Julius here. He's gonna seal off Castle, and then Shannon's gonna go around, score. If you play the clip, Julius sets a little off-ball kind of rub. Not really a screen, he's just standing there, but Wemby can't get around him. And now Terrence Shannon has a free layup. This is the first possession, one of the first possessions Wemby's gotten hunted, because they got to do a better job. The Spurs do have to do a better job of switching this action or doing something, and Wemby just can't give up field penetration that easily. It was more of an isolation, but I do want to point out that Wemby has to stand here. When Gobert is in the game, Wemby is not going to respect Terrence Shannon. If Gobert was right here, right, instead of Terrence Shannon, Wemby's just going to stand in the paint, making this look a lot harder than it needs to be. But now that Terrence Shannon is in the game, Julius gets this isolation at the top of the key, or above the free throw line. And Julius Randle was cooking last night. So he gets to his idea, bucket. And there's nothing, they really have nowhere to send help. When they run this lineup, they have nowhere to send help from. Because Vassell has to stay home. Fox has to stay home. Jaden's in the dunker spot, but Dylan Harper can't leave him because he would have nobody else to rotate to. And Wemby has to stay home. Terrence Shannon can shoot the basketball. So now Julius gets his free isolation look. He gets to an idea, scores a bucket. So what is Miss Johnson going to do about this look? Is he going to have Wemby maybe not guard Terrence Shannon, guard Nas or Jaden McDaniels in the dunker spot? But then Chris Finch can always just switch the alignment. So that's a question that they're asking themselves in that Spurs locker room, I'm sure of it. We'll see what they do next game. Now this was actually a good defensive possession from the Spurs. You see that the Wolves still have them spread out. Harper, Fox, Wemby, Keldon Johnson are all kind of attached to their men. Pause if necessary, because they can't help. So Ant gets this one-on-one with Vassell though, because they can't help, like I said. But Vassell, strong challenge, strong contest, miss, rebound for the Spurs. Now the Spurs they're gonna have to guard. This is a possession that kind of highlights what the Spurs need to do on more possessions. When the Wolves run this lineup, they need to be able to run individual defense, play one-on-one, get a strong contest, force misses, because they're not going to be able to play as much help. Because Wemby was getting most of his block on help side. I'm not going to deep dive his blocks. Some of them were goaltends in my opinion. Some of them were legitimate, but most of them were help side block. He really wasn't playing one-on-one defense. So we'll see if they can guard better one-on-one. So maybe they give the help more time to get there, or they force contested mid-ranges like that. All right, so in this clip, Julius is going to set a screen, but then he's just going to pop out. Ant's not going to use it, but then since he pops out, and now that this is a shooter and not Gobert, Wemby is now forced to pop out with him. So Wemby's going to be standing next to Julius Randle, and now Ant's going to have a one-on-one in the post with Champagnie. And I'm a Wolves fan, and if I'm Chris Finch and that coaching staff, I'm taking this 10 out of 10 times twice on Sunday. So roll the clip. See, Julius gets out, fake sets the screen, but now Wemby, you can't camp this. Julius Randle can shoot the basketball. Gobert can't. So now you get a one-on-one, your best player on Julian Champagnie, who's not the best defender. Definitely not a bad one, but pretty average. So now you get downhill, layup. See, Wemby wanted to help, but it's too late. It's too late. You can't help on that. This next one, Wemby actually is in a position to help. The Wolves' spacing is pretty poor. Champagnie's able to show eyes to this drive because Jaden's too close in the dunker spot. So if Ant drives, he's gonna be able to guard two people with one person. And then on this side of the court, Fox can also kind of close out to two people with one, resulting in Wemby being able to play help side. See, now Jaden McDaniels is too close. It's a soft double team on Ant, and Ant gets through the double, but now Wemby's in a great position to help because Fox is guarding two with one, and Barnes is on Randle. So now Wemby gets a free block. Now, when the Spurs mess up the alignment in this lineup, I mean, not the Spurs, when the Wolves mess up the alignment in this lineup, not perfect, because you can still have shade Wemby to the action. So you need to make sure if Nas got free throw line extended here, if he was free throw line extended, Conley stays in this corner, Julius maybe shades up to here. It's completely changed possession because De'Aaron Fox can no longer guard two with one, and Wemby can't shade. Now, does Ant make this layup? Maybe, maybe not. It's still a soft double, but would have made it a lot harder for Wemby to challenge and impact the shot. One of his 12 blocks of the night. All right, so this clip the Timberwolves run horns. If you don't know what horns is when the two offensive players involved in this action are standing at both elbows, and they can do a lot of things here. They can run a DHO, which is dribble handoff, a screen for each other, kind of a lot of action. I'm not going to get into all of it. So this action, Julius screens for Ant. Ant comes off, and Ant then gets downhill when he gets it, because now he has an advantage on Stephon Castle because he's in trail. So now Ant turns the corner, gets downhill, and now this defender shows help. I'm going to talk about it when we get there. So now Keldon Johnson shows help. But since this is no longer Rudy Gobert, this is a somebody with a threat of a jump shot. You can't do this. And now Fox, he wants to close out to the first pass, but if he closes out too hard, because now Ant's got them deep. Ant's done his job at this point. So now, if Fox were to close out here, Julius passes it one more shot for Conley. But now, Ant gets to here. Fox is late because he kind of cheats a little bit inside. And this is a wide open shot for an NBA player. Julius Randle knocks it down. Perfect offense, perfect execution of what you want. So the next idea we're going to get into this play is, if I can get my drawing out, we're going to set a flare for Anthony Edwards. Ant just passed the ball to Mike Conley. So Ant is going to come off this flare screen. And Wemby's going to be put in a position because Stephon Castle is going to be at another trail disadvantage. Are you going to contest here and give up the Randle 3? Or what's going to happen? They actually end up switching this action. So Harrison Barnes is the person that is involved in this flare. He tries to cut off Ant's path, but Ant gets to use the flare. And see, now Harrison Barnes is behind. Now he's in trouble. And Wemby's in trouble because Ant, if he gets downhill, can get a layup, force these two defenders to make a decision. Instead, though, Ant's going to get to a one dribble pull up because Wemby's in drop. Harrison Barnes is trailing, trying to get there before Ant can shoot the ball. Ant gets a pump fake off. This is not a hand. This is too much space for an NBA player. But Wemby's in no man's land. Not only is he not contesting the shot, he's also leaving Julius Randle wide open for a 3. So now, let me play it, and gets a wide open 3. Once again, taking advantage of Wemby not being able to help in these situations and getting a good wide open look. Now, this possession is pretty much the epitome of what I've been screaming this entire video, is how hard this becomes for the Spurs to guard. Because Jaden McDaniels is going to get downhill. Wemby's one-track mind, he always is going to play help. He's always going to sit paint. He's never going to just camp out on the three-point line. But now, since he's beat and he played help, Naz Reid is going to get a wide-open 3. Naz Reid can shoot the basket. Let the play out. He plays help. Harrison Barnes is there. Wemby is there helping in the paint because that's Wemby's brain. Wemby always runs straight to the paint. He's never going to stay home. So now, Naz Reid, it's a rhythm 3. Bow, splash. Chris Finch is moving these chess pieces around, forcing Miss Johnson to do things that he doesn't want to do. What is the answer? You got to put Wemby somewhere else. But all 5 of these players can shoot, so we'll see what they do. All right, so in this fourth quarter, we still have this lineup of 5 shooters. Champagne is forced to get back to Jaden because if he doesn't, it's just going to make this easy pass. It's going to be 3. So now, Wemby is at Ant's mercy because this is where you want Wemby. You want Wemby on this 3-point line. You want Wemby having to make a tough decision guarding a quicker, smaller guard. So now you get the one-on-one that you want. You probably can get downhill, but they'll play gap help. Wemby gives Ant too much space. Ant is a high-volume three-point shooter. Flash. This game really highlighted some of the issues with this Spurs team and Wemby. Now, there are more issues for the Spurs than just these fourth quarter possessions. Like, De'Aaron Fox was awful last night. Stephon Castle barely played because he couldn't stay out of foul trouble. Wemby played terrible offensively. Those are three true statements. But I feel like what really changed the game was this fourth quarter. And when you get Wemby out of this area, this little 4x4 block, little rectangle, when you get him out of there and have him play D out here, it gets spooky. To be honest, it really does get spooky. So I'm interested to see what Miss Johnson cooks up to prevent Wemby from being put in these situations. So obviously, you can't take him out, but you have to keep him out on the perimeter. And Wemby not comfortable on the perimeter. Not yet. Maybe he'll get there, but he's got a one-track mind. He just wants to go run and block shots. Now, let me know what you guys think in the comments. What should Miss Johnson do to mitigate this problem that arises in the fourth quarter? And another thing that I wanted to point out is that this man didn't play. Io did not play. Io creates another matchup nightmare because he probably takes this Conley spot. And while Mike Conley was hooping, Io is the better player at this point in their career. So I'm interested to see what happens. Now, if you guys want me to do more film breakdowns like this, leave a like, leave a comment. Let me know that you guys actually enjoy this type of content, and I'll keep it coming. I want to do more breakdowns of these games as they come along. So if you guys enjoy, let me know. And that's it for me. That's pretty much all I had today. Thank you guys for staying to the end with me, and have a great rest of your day. Enjoy the playoffs while they last, because we're going to go a long time without basketball. But all right, y'all, I'm out. Peace.